if you had to look back and do it all over again, you got to push the reset button and start all over, what would you change?
I think this is a really tough question.
You can say,
what would I change?
You can say nothing.
I think it's more so what I would change in terms of our expectations. And I mean, everybody is different, but I think that we eventually kind of came to the reality that like a gut rehab is not, you know, for a first-time home buyer unless like you've got all of your resources secured. So I think the one thing that maybe I would change that would help not waste time is kind of just be realistic about like what you can and can't do and what you know and what you don't know. Because I think we realized after looking at a few homes, doing a gut rehab is, you know, a little ambitious.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
I disagree with you. I think part of the experience is learning. Like all you're really saying is like we didn't know what we wanted, right? And we needed to explore our options. I personally think, and we say this to all of our clients, is like if that's something that's interesting to you, let's explore. All we did was explore.
Yeah.
Right? We explored it. We learned about it. And like, I don't think any amount of research, not only about the home buying process, but something as, you know, strange as rehabbing a home, I don't think you can learn about it until you see the home, you talk to a general contractor, you take a look at your finances, and I don't know, kind of whatever. That's like part of that's part of the experience. That's part of our job to educate you on that kind of stuff.
I think that's a really good point because we also learned about the different types of loans that you would need to get if you are doing a gut rehab. So maybe I wouldn't change anything. Maybe I would just leave it exactly as it is.
You know, your experience is, so again, agents, you're kind of actually paying us to be desensitized. You're paying us not, like, of course, we're on the roller coaster with you. We just don't go through the highs and lows as dramatically as you do. And that's kind of like, you know, it's just another negotiation. It's just another inspection. And you want us, I personally think you want us to be that voice of calm and reason because it's such an emotionally like energized experience. That's what I would say.
Yeah. I think like it's something that we had to kind of remind ourselves, you know, as a realtor, you're working with so many different people.
Some other people, but yeah.
Some other people. More than what we're working with. We're just working with you. So like you are our lifeline where like if we don't hear from you, you're our best friend at that time.
Can we be clear? It wasn't like I was going days or even hours without communicating to you. We're talking about like 15 minutes, just to be very clear.
Yes.
And I also have an assistant and David on the transaction with me. Let's just be clear.
Yeah, I mean, everyone was really great.
Good.
And I think that it's something though, I think that as a new home buyer who has no familiarity with like where we're going, what we're doing, it is good to have that team there, just checking in and seeing like, you know, how's it going? Do you have all the answers that you need? Even the lawyer that we used, Vince.
Vince Leon.
Yeah, he was super helpful and talked through so many things about taxes. I learned about
a similar voice of like calm and, you know, just like, here, let me explain it to you. Let's educate you. There's a huge education across, you know, probably
so
5, 6, 7 disciplines that you need to learn.
Yeah. And I mean, I think we came out of it feeling like we had definitely a better handle than what we had going into it. But even learning like those small things about just the way that like property taxes work and how different counties have different property taxes in terms of just when you're paying the taxes for what. Like, are you paying previous years? Are you paying in the future? And my mind was blown that it works different depending on where you're at. So.
And we always kind of say it's like, you know, that's why we have specialists in lending and attorney and inspection and negotiation and brokerage. But kind of last question. Because this is, you know, a way and for buyers, and we may use this. I may ask every buyer to watch this now. honestly.
Oh.
No, just because you get an inside look into like how the process actually goes. But if you for the millions of viewers around the world and any future first-time homebuyer, like what would be the one or two key pieces of advice you would give to someone as they embark on their home buying journey?
I think the first thing when it comes to thinking about where do you want to plant your roots? And I actually didn't mention this earlier, but James and I were kind of toying with the idea of the suburbs and then thinking about, we really love the city. And I think it's trying to figure out where you want to live and why you want to live there. And if you're currently in the neighborhood that you want, I just touched the microphone. Was that okay?
It's okay.
Okay.
Should we start from the very beginning? I'm just joking. It's like start from the top.
No.
So tell us why you wanted to buy. No, I'm just joking.
I'll tell you about my home buying experience again. So if you live in the neighborhood that you're looking to eventually buy a place in, I mean, you kind of know what your kind of routine is, and it's a matter of, do you want to keep that routine? Do you want to maybe establish a new routine? But I think that's the first piece of advice, is just like, where do you want to live and why do you want to live there? And how long are you planning on living there for? Like, is it going to be a couple of years or is it a long-term thing? Because I think that's something you also asked us of, when you buy this house, do you want to stay here for a long time? Or are you guys thinking about, maybe leaving for the burbs or another neighborhood? So that would be one. The second one is, let's see. I think leading up to just like lending, just being smart about what you're spending and how much you're spending, and not doing anything that will jeopardize your ability to get approved. I actually had a friend who I think bought a car when they were going through the home buying process. And I'm sure some buyers already know this, but don't go buying a car.
It changes your debt to income ratio, which affects how much home you can afford.
Yeah. So that's probably the other piece of advice. Just like get all your spending out of the way and then go through your home buying process, get pre-qualified, all of that, and be responsible.
Love it.